Good afternoon, friends. Yet another Thursday, and we continue with our Thursday motivations. And we use this platform to share biblical principles that need to help us in our everyday life. We share biblical principles so that we can live our best lives. The other day I was thinking that, Jesus came to be the fulfillment of the law. The 10 commandments were so difficult to achieve with our own righteousness. Jesus came in and stepped in, and we became the righteousness of God through Jesus Christ. But then the disciples asked Jesus, what is the most important commandment? And I sat and thought about it, and I was like, what is the most fundamental aspects of our Christian lives? And I realized that we as the church, we as Christians, are moving away to other things that are important. Yes, it's important to preach. It's important to prophesy. The fivefold ministry is very important. It is important to speak in tongues. But what is the greatest commandment of all? Love God with all your heart. Love your neighbor as yourself. The second one for me, the most fundamental aspect of our Christian life, is forgiveness. And we Christians struggle with loving the other person, loving your neighbor as yourself. We struggle with forgiveness. And, I was saying to a friend of mine, I do not want to miss heaven because I failed to love right. I do not want to miss heaven because I failed to forgive. Love God with all your heart, but love your neighbor as yourself. And some of us struggle to love our neighbors as ourselves because we don't really love ourselves. We don't love ourselves right, we cannot love the other person. On the flip side, you love yourself too much. You have so much self-love that you cannot give love to another person. Secondly, forgiveness. If you cannot forgive, if you cannot love, then everything else you do cannot bring people to the loving and the saving knowledge of Christ. Your life cannot be based right. It cannot sit right. You don't have the proper foundation if you cannot love proper and if you cannot forgive. Those are the two basic, for me, fundamentals of our Christian lives. That's why I have a problem with us reading 1 Corinthians 13 as if it's some, love novel at weddings. 1 Corinthians 13 is supposed to be our daily life. If I speak in the tongues of men and I have no love, I sound like a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. Love conquers all. Love covers a multitude of sin. English just disappeared there. What I'm trying to say is that we can do everything. We can do our worship. We can pray. We can do every single thing. But everything that we do needs to come from a position of love. And if it doesn't come from a position of love, then it's not of God. Forgiveness, they asked the disciples, they asked Jesus, how many times must I forgive? Jesus says 70 times 7 before the day ends. Forgiveness should be our lifestyle. There is nothing, I don't understand in my life how we can move on and do things and operate in church when we have not forgiven. The Bible says, if you have a problem with your brother, leave your gift at the altar, go fix that problem, then take your gift and then go serve. Your gift is not your offering only. Your gift is not limited to your offering. Your gift is your preaching. Your gift is your singing. Your gift is whatever God has mandated you to do. But you cannot continue doing that without fixing things with your brother. Forgiveness is key. You need to learn how to forgive. You need to learn how to love your neighbor as yourself.